Today we're going to talk about Samsung and the Note series. I don't know if you've heard, but there's rumors going around that Samsung will not be making any more Galaxy Note devices. So in this video, we're going to talk about why it might be time to say goodbye to the Galaxy Note. Many years ago, Samsung had this idea that making smartphones bigger would be great for productivity and usability as smart devices. So they created the Galaxy Note, the ultimate productivity device, and they modeled all their smartphones on this idea, making them bigger each year. Of course, many disagreed and some even made fun of them. But ultimately, they were right because today, almost every smartphone is as big or bigger than the original Galaxy Note was at the time of its launch. The Galaxy Note has been a part of the Samsung family for almost 10 years, and in its earlier years, it was very much a different phone compared to the Galaxy S and everything else Samsung had in its roster. It was practically the original Ultra smartphone for Samsung, so much that it carved out a new phablet category because of its sheer size and unique productivity tools. But as most phones started growing in size and offering good experiences across the board, the Note began to lose its special sauce, to the point that in recent years, it's become more of an optimization upgrade rather than an ultimate flagship it used to be. The truth is, in terms of the overall package, the Note is not just special anymore. In fact, the only real difference between recent Note and S-series smartphones has been the S Pen, which the S21 Ultra now supports, rendering the Galaxy Note kinda useless. And although some might say the Galaxy Note was still a slight upgrade over the S-series last year, it still functioned as Samsung's final headline flagship, right? Especially in a year like 2020, where the S20 Ultra was such a mess, right? And to that I say, yes, the Note 20 Ultra was able to take that headline away, at least to a certain extent. That is true in the years like 2020 or 2016, when their flagships had memorable issues. They could rest assured that their next headline flagship was just a few months away. But the thing is, last year different phones took those headlines. You had the Galaxy Fold 2, the Z Flip, and the S20 FE. The FE was even stated to be so popular that it comfortably beat out the Note 20 Ultra and drew customers from Samsung's own A-series line. The thing is, Samsung's starting to put more focus on foldables and their budget flagship segment to categories that the Galaxy Note doesn't fit into. Which brings up another issue because considering the release schedule of previous Note phones, it would be safe to assume that Samsung wanted the Note to compete with Apple's iPhones. But it hasn't. Sales of the Note series haven't been anywhere near sizable enough to disrupt Apple's domination of the higher-end market, and the Note has never been cheap enough to compete with smartphones like the iPhone 12. Meaning, the Note was no longer at the top of the Samsung's food chain because of the Ultra S series and the foldables. But it wasn't just enough to disrupt Apple either. So Samsung must have been thinking, why bother with a complete phone series that's really not different from the S series, can't compete with the iPhones, and isn't actually the pinnacle of our smartphone offering? What's the point? Well, there is no point. That's why Samsung is probably going to end the Note series, if not this year, then very soon, because the FE series could possibly do what the Note can no longer afford to do. It can be the S series refinement, all while requiring much less resources and changes design-wise. It has the potential to be extremely popular, and it can possibly take a small chunk out of Apple's entry-level flagship dominance. And I know Samsung tends to have an insane number of phones at mid-range level, so one might think it'd make sense to have multiple flagships flying around, but consider this. With flagships, especially Android flagships, the market is thinner compared to mid-range devices. Spending all that money developing a very expensive flagship that gets undercut by S-series, the FE series, and the foldable phones in an especially thin consumer market can't be that productive. And I'm sure the sales figure of the Note 20 will back that point. That is, if Samsung ever releases them. To sum up, maybe Samsung wants the FE series to replace the Note so they can better compete with Apple. Maybe the resource involved in creating the Note are no longer worth it. Either way, you can't argue that Samsung does not have good reasons to end the Note series, which is kinda unfortunate because I love the Note series the most out of Samsung's lineup. But you know, what do you think? Let us know in the comments below, and please help us out by leaving a like, and you can always subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching.